We've been talking about your dear friends and collectors, the Joneses, and
Yes.
obviously this is a family portrait. Can you give us a
Yes.
little background on this, please?
Yes. Jerry asked me to do a portrait of his family. And this is his mother and father, and his father was in the U.S. Army at that time during World War II. And World War II sets a lot of timelines for myself in terms of memory. So when he asked me to do this piece, I relished the idea of doing it because I was certain that my memories of World War II and what that time was like for me and my family. And I had 5 uncles that saw combat in that war, both the European theater as well as the South Pacific. So to do a painting of a soldier and his young family at that time was a remarkable opportunity to do not only a family portrait, but to do a historical painting that touches all of America.
So you started with just the photograph
Yes,
of his father,
yes.
and you had a photograph of his mother.
I had photographs
And-
of everyone that you see in this painting.
So what you're creating the memory as you saw it of Dad coming home.
Yes, that's absolutely right, and that was the paramount moment when they came home, any one of them. And it didn't really matter if it was not your relative, if you didn't know them at all. There was a kind of feeling in the air that anyone that was serving in the military at that time somehow was a part of you.
When you do a portrait, Don, how do you imagine a background? How did you come up with this particular background that, of course, is so complementary?
Background for me is never background. Background is space, and space that's around the central objects or figures has to be complementary to the first area of interest. So that consideration begins with the planning of the painting. Herein lies the absolute necessity of composition. And that's the area that is as creative as any aspect of doing a painting, because if that does not work, then what you have is chaos.
You want the eye to be drawn to the subject, which is what the background...
You want the entire piece to be felt. And what is not commonly known, that I learned a great deal about in Europe, was the fact that we are limited here with a specific size of a canvas. The composition does not lie only within that confined space. You must be able to take the viewer outside of that area and to bring them back in so that the whole of wherever the piece is hung becomes somehow of value in terms of that expression.